castle anymore. It's my office. Well, always? Not really. Sometimes. Sometimes in the office, sometimes I'm home, sometimes we have mixed hybrid environments. And if you're wondering how to lead in such complex hybrid environments, then you're at the right spot, because in this video we will talk about 7 essential hacks for hybrid leadership in a hybrid environment. My name is Robert Schaffner. I'm a consultant, a trainer, and as well the co-founder of Triangility. And Triangility, we enjoy to help organizations and individuals in the topic of new leadership. How can we establish and apply the new principles of leadership in this century? In this video, we will discuss 7 different hacks you can use in a hybrid environment. We'll discuss what to take care about, and I will share some of my experiences and as well the mistakes, what I have seen and found and have done myself. So let's go into that, and with that I probably walk over to my whiteboard and see you in a second. So here I am at my whiteboard. Let's get started with our 7 hacks. But before we do that, let's take one step back and let's think a little bit about hybrid. So let's look into what does hybrid actually mean. So hybrid for me means multiple scenarios. One is, and that's quite a common one, is remote, which is quite often our virtual home office, right? So we have some infrastructure, some bandwidth, some more, some less. We maybe have video and a few other things, but there's a limited set of functionalities there. Second scenario what we have these days is mobile. So mobile is a little bit like remote, but even more limitation. Thanks God, today we can be back with our customers, with our peers, maybe at the coffee or the lake, right? I hope for you that you can work from an environment, mobile, where you really enjoy. So the third scenario, and that's where we usually have the best infrastructure, is the office. And best infrastructure depends as well what the organization is willing to invest. But often we have video conference systems, we have separate rooms, right? We have good connectivity, maybe extra microphones, and. So that's 3 different scenarios. And in all honesty, hybrid means a mixture of all of them or some of them. So you might have some people in the same room in an office. You have individual contributors in a home office or even sometimes mobile, and all of them join the same session, the same conference call, the same workshop, and try to work together. And in all honesty, that complexity is much, much higher than pure remote or pure in person. So the 7 hacks look into how do we handle all of that. Okay, let's take the next step. And let me clean that up first. Okay, the second thing what I want to look into is the 5 dimensions of hybrid environments. A nice pentagram. So if I look into the first, and for me maybe the most important thing, it's the scope. What is the scope of your hybrid session? Is it a workshop? Is it a call? Is it a meeting? Is it, I don't know, a co-creative kind of session? I think that's an important thing to consider and to really make it clear to everyone attending. Okay, second part is technology. So technology or tech is really important because in a hybrid environment, tech often gives you additional complexity. What I mean with that is you might have an environment which is better in the office than in a home office or mobile. You might have video conferencing systems. You might have audio, microphones, speaker systems in the office, but you might have less in other environments. So technology can help a lot, but you need to make sure that technology, the experience is consistent or as consistent as possible for all participants. And if you're an organizer or facilitator for a session, you need to keep that in account and really, be conscious about the technology you use and how does it affect people remotely. The third element for me is energy. Energy means the energy of the people. Often, if we are in a hybrid environment, we focus on the people in the room, right? We can see them, it gives us energy if we interact with them. Presenters love to see immediately what's happening, but often we forget about the people remotely. So we need to make sure that we transfer our positive vibes and energy to remote people as well. We need to include them. So energy is extremely important. How do we handle energy overall for everyone? So something to keep in mind. The fourth element for me is the people itself. I already said energy and inclusion of people, but often you need to be much more conscious. A little example. People in an office room might start to chit-chat between each other, and you might have experienced that yourself. If you're on the remote end, suddenly you don't understand anything anymore, and you don't know, is it important, is it not important? It's highly distracting for you. So you need to care about people, and you need to have a discipline as a team that everyone is included. You might even go to the point that people in the room need to scale one step back to make it a better experience for people remote. So it's really conscious as a team that a hybrid environment needs to include everyone and everyone needs to feel happy. And last but not least, it's about structures. One famous saying I use often in my workshops is, less is more. So less content, more process, more structures. A website which I really admire is called liberatingstructures.com. There's tons of structures and tools you can use to make your workshops more interactive, more agile, more dialogue, include people much more, bring better energy to the overall audience. And it's extremely important that you look into that. How can you structure your hybrid environment in a better way? So a combination of all of that is, I think, very important. So if you want, that's some of the steps you have to take to really be more effective in a hybrid environment. So these 5 dimensions we keep in mind when we look into our hacks, which I will do next. So let me clean my board here, which is always a hassle. So let's do that. Oh!